Checka Pro Joe here on the Checka Pro Radio Show. If you haven't had this happen to you on your property, I know in your neighborhood you've seen this, and that is concrete that is pitching one way or the other. And you're like, gosh, how does that person walk safely on their walkway? Or how are they getting in their garage with that concrete that is no longer level? They should get that totally banged out and replaced, which actually may not be the best way to go. Zachary Zaras is joining me here on the program from Leveled Concrete. Hey, Zachary, how are you?
Doing well. How about yourself?
I am living the dream. Thanks so much. We've talked about this before. You guys can go in there and you can fix this problem. It's a very common problem. And what I want to do is talk about how long it takes to do it. But before that, let's set this up. What might cause concrete to no longer be level over time? Is it erosion? Is it freezing? Is it the heat? All the above?
So yeah, all the above. I mean, we don't get a lot of freezing down here, but oftentimes when they build your house, those dirt work crews and builders don't do the best soil work underneath your driveway and sidewalks.
Mm.
They do the best under the house. They do as much as possible or much as needed under the house, and they just kind of level things out and pour concrete for your driveway. And so oftentimes within the first 10 years, that concrete will settle because that dirt is naturally compacting back to where it wanted to be originally. And so that's one. Once that starts happening, that opens up cracks, it opens up those joints. And now every time it rains, that water's going to go somewhere and it's going to go right in those cracks and joints. And then that creates the erosion underneath the concrete. And then if there are times where water is pooling in your yard, maybe there's a low spot and it's next to the concrete or pooling on the concrete, and it makes the soil super soft and it's like stepping in mud. Your foot's going to sink right in it. And that concrete's going right in that mud as well. And so those are kind of the three biggest reasons: the natural compaction, the erosion, and then the wetness of the soils, weak, wet soils that everything sinks into. Those are kind of the big reasons why it happens. And then we just got to stop those reasons from happening, and then we lift the concrete.
And you lift it with a foam process. And what I like about it is that's not dirt, right? So it's less likely, I would imagine, to move and erode over time. It seems like it's a little more substantial. It's going to stay there longer.
Yeah, absolutely. So the foam is not going to go anywhere. It's not going to erode, and it's also very lightweight. So to put it in perspective, 1 cubic yard of our foam weighs about 100 pounds, whereas 1 cubic yard of dirt is well over 1,000 pounds. I want to say it's closer to 3,000, but you don't check my math on that. I'm not sure. But it significantly, I start putting mud and dirt underneath the concrete. It just adds extra weight to that soil. And so we already know if the soils are settling because of the excess weight of the concrete, and you go add, 4,000 or 5,000 pounds to your driveway and just leave it there, it's going to settle again. So us adding a little bit of weight on average driveway, we add less than 200 pounds of material under the entire driveway. So less than you or I laying on the concrete most likely. And we spread our weight over the entire driveway. So there's very little weight. And that, again, that material is not going to wash out either. So it's in there and it's in there forever. We just got to stop the water at this point.
All right, Zachary. So questions come into the radio program, and that is, how long does it take to level concrete? Now that we know why it happens and the process to do it, how long does it take to actually get it back in place?
So the actual process takes a couple of hours. Some of our crews get it done in about an hour. Some take 2 or 3 hours. It just depends on how quick they are and efficient they are with work. But they come in, they drill their holes about the size of a pencil, 3/8 of an inch, and they inject the polyurethane. Again, that product is fully lifted within about 15 seconds. It's fully risen. So it's just a matter of how much area needs to be leveled out. But in most cases, the driveway takes about an hour to 2 hours to level out, and that's to get it back into place. Often some driveways are real quick, some are real long, depending on how much leveling needs done on it.
And you will never know that level concrete was there. You don't have to pour a new slab, which means everything will match up. It's the original concrete. Within a few hours, you're back to normal. And you can drive anything on top of this. It could be a tractor trailer with a tank on it, and it's not going to move.
Yeah, so our material it's about 60 pounds per square inch that it can hold. So if we math that out, it's somewhere around I want to say 7,000 pounds per square foot. So well more than anything you're going to put on your driveway. They make a heavier material foam we use for commercial applications, but you could park your 18 wheeler if you're a truck driver on your driveway, and that foam's not going to crush or compress.
Yeah, it's incredible. Zachary, as always, thank you so much for joining me today here on the program.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.